Good morning. It is March 27th. We'll jump in with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Coleman, would you open the prayer?
Certainly. Dear Father, we call on you, the one and true Almighty God. We ask that you be with us today. Lord, hear our prayers today. Put your blessing on those who need it. You know those by name. Father, we ask for wisdom and guidance today in making decisions that will please you and help this county. We ask all of this in my heavenly precious name. Amen.
Amen. For that, Mr. Coleman. Before we get started, I do want to say special thoughts and prayers for Commissioner Davis and his family. They had a large loss earlier in the week, so our prayers is out with that family. I'm praying for comfort and peace there. So, with that, though, I will jump into the approval of the meeting minutes for March 20th.
It's very smooth, so it's hard to see the visual.
Yes. Perfect.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 20th.
I'll vacate the chair. Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds,
Any comments or questions on appropriation request? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
Never mind. Just used to it.
Go.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and then and now certificates in the total amount of $1,588,594.
Any comments or questions on the docket?
I'd like to object, but I can't.
Yeah, you get it. Bills need paid.
So I will make a motion to approve.
All right. And I second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation and transfer of funds,
Any comments or questions on the transfers? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Any comments or questions on miscellaneous reports? Hearing none.
Motion to accept the reports.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of notification from the Ohio Department of Taxation regarding permissive sales tax,
All right, we have our notification of January 2025 sales tax, local $1,027,058.43. Sales actual $513,523.63. That is a total of $1,540,582.06. This is an increase over January 24 to the tune of $120,312.09. So that still is kind of keeping us bouncing back and forth. We have a down month and an up month, so we're still staying kind of level. Something we're still very much watching to ensure that the county stays in a strong fiscal state. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of memorandum of understanding between the Scioto County Board of Commissioners and Scioto County Engineer and Clay Township Board of Trustees for work performed by a contractor.
We've been doing several of these over the past couple weeks. This is the renewal of these agreements between the engineer and for this one is for the Clay Township trustees. That partnership is very valuable to our trustee partners. If they're going to go further with the bulk purchasing, they have the ability to do so. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution ratifying the issuance of the Commissioner's correspondence dated September 19, 2024.
So this is a resolution. Is this something that was requested by the auditor? I believe so, just to clear up
Yes.
questions. So there was funding awarded through the Senate Bill 310 for a jail project that was going to be basically where the old jail was. We later determined that that was not a feasible project due to the cost of really everything, be it material, staff, or otherwise, and it just did not make fiscal sense to move forward with that project, so we did send that money back. So this is the correspondence and ratifying correspondence we had with the sheriff. Any comments or questions? Hearing none,
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of Child Support Enforcement Agency 4D contract between the Department of Job and Family Services and Domestic Relations Court.
No, so this is CSEA 4D contract, JFS and domestic court. This is for February 1, 25 through January 31st of 26. It is in the amount of $240,761.93. This is an ongoing contract that we do every year for child support enforcement. Any comments or questions? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of change order for SCICR BAR fiscal year 2027 guardrail project regarding the engineer.
Correspondence from the engineer regarding the guardrail project. Change order will decrease, it's always a good word to see, decrease the project cost in the amount of $20,582.50. Comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of change order number 1 for the Scioto County Fort Hill Marks Communication Tower.
We've been talking about the Marks Tower project now for a while. This is an ARPA-funded project. Change order 1 is where the contractor will provide the antenna group C from the bid documents, including all necessary installation, with the original contract price being $1,044,834. Change order increases that by $39,172, making a new contract price with the change order of $1,084,006.79. Comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of lease agreement between the Board of Scioto County Commissioners and Southern Ohio Port Authority regarding 502 Court Street.
So the Port Authority, as we made conversation last week, would like to move back into the 5th and Court Building Economic Development Office. This is a lease agreement with them to protect both parties, to be executed, and I think they'd like to move in there before, to start the new month. But any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of donation to True Lure Inc.
All right. Todd Dunn is in the room today, and Todd, we appreciate all of your hard work. We've been back and forth with ODNR. Unfortunately, that did not go the way we wanted it to go. With that in consideration, the project and the event that you do is clearly a huge need for the community, and in my opinion, it is well received this year. You're expanding it yet again, adding the students from the Vern Rife School, and it's a math problem. You need more fish if you're taking more people out there.
They cut us back.
And they cut you back. So this is for a donation of $3,400 to be able to help you with your 500 fish that you were able to get from Brant Trout Hatchery. Once again, it's such a great event. Encourage people to take part. Encourage local businesses to also get involved too. I think at last number you told me, Todd, and correct me if I'm wrong, this event is a $20,000+ event that you guys have already raised money with the Post and the VFW, and people continue to give, the Eagles. So thank you to all of those organizations, to supporting our veterans, supporting our disabled children, critically ill children. I know last year I had the opportunity to meet a family. Their son was terminally ill with brain cancer, had had the opportunity to meet them and provide them with a kayak, so it's a worthwhile event, and, I think this money is well spent.
We're 800 poles, we bought 800 poles.
800 fishing poles,
That's
so
$8,000 just in
so if
fishing.
you haven't been able to find a fishing pole at Walmart, you can
You won't find one.
write an angry letter to Todd Dunn if you've been looking for a fishing pole. But no, Todd, you do a
Well,
fantastic
we don't know
job.
how many's gonna show up.
Yep,
And, that's the thing, no kid ever leaves there without it. So, I mean, no vet leaves there without it. And that's the way we see it. So it's the best we can do, and I hate it coming here.
No.
I mean, it shouldn't have to, but we've gotta do what we gotta do for the kids in Scioto County. I mean, we're to that point, there's so much drugs and stuff in Scioto County, when you take kids coming out of schools and stuff that are disabled, that's never got to fish, there's nothing like it. I mean, the Vern Wright kids, this is their first year of fishing, so, with Bruce being there and stuff, they're gonna enjoy it. And it's all about the kids and the vets, and, we're gonna take it as far as we can take it till I croak or, but it's all about the vets and the kids, and that's what, and I appreciate what you're doing. Like I said, I wanna start as soon as we can, or getting OD on our side. Because it's gonna take 1,600 fish every time we do it. That's what we used to get, though. That's what I'm saying. We used to get that fish. When we plan all this stuff out for that many fish, and then they say, no, we're giving you 750. Well, this year they started out going to give us only 400. And I was like, what? They got 85,000 fish.
yeah.
And the anglers do not come before the disabled vets. I'll just tell you, but we appreciate it, and we'll make sure, and hopefully you guys will get out there. I know Miss Coleman's gonna be on vacation, she's gonna miss
I know.
the kids from Vern Wright School, then I gotta go down and play basketball with them tonight.
Well, don't injure yourself.
It's been 40 years since I played basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
Hopefully somebody videos that.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, Todd.
Better do some stretches before you get out there.
With that, Commissioner Coleman, if you have any comments, or?
I just want to thank you for everything that you've done and you continue to do. Appreciate it very much. I'll just give you a hand.
The West Side deserves something. I like been there my entire life. The West Side deserves to have stuff like that on there, and it's all about Scioto County too. Scioto County, you can't beat a better place. I mean, that's like Bruce comes all the way from Louisiana. He comes up here and stays for a week. He says he loves to come here because people treat him good.
Oh, that's
And that's hard to, get out of towners that come up here and say, people treat me good. So that's a plus on
Yes, it
Scioto
is.
County.
Well, again, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
With that, do we have a motion for this donation?
I will make a motion to approve.
I will gladly second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
That is the end of our agenda. We will open it up for any questions, items on agenda.
I don't have any on.
You have some off.
I have 2 off.
We have some folks in room first. We do have time to get to everything online as well, so we will get to those. Do we have any questions?
Good morning. As always, thanks for letting us come here and ask some questions. Appreciate it. I just have one this morning. Are there any updates on when maybe the Economic Development Office will get up and running again?
I wish I had an update for you, Scott, to be honest. It's a tough proposition when there's still potentially other things coming down the road. I mean, if you look at the indictment, there's other unnamed co-conspirators, and the last thing we want to do is build a system around something that falls apart because of new news. And I'm not saying we know who that is, we don't. So that gives me pause. I have had some great conversations with folks regarding economic development, what it could look like. A lot of organizations willing to move forward. I actually have a conversation today with a group as well that I've been spending this time to research what it could and should look like and what other counties are doing and which counties are doing it well, quite frankly. So I wish I had an update, I don't. SOPA is now functional. I think they found their bank accounts this week, so that was encouraging. They'll be moving back to the Fifth and Court building, but right now, their whole function is to ensure the bonds continue. They're not really gonna be doing any economic development projects or anything like that. But it's figuring out, hey, what is the work that needs to continue now, and then we figure out what it looks like. I personally have been on economic development discussions with developers. The encouragement is, in spite of the news, people still want to grow here, invest here. Some really encouraging projects that I've had the opportunity to set in on that I can't talk about because that's how economic development is as well. But pretty substantial. One is probably going to be announced pretty soon, tens of millions of dollars. Nothing that the commissioners have involvement in, but of course they want to let us know if they're coming to the county. So there's some good things happening in lieu of all the bad. There's still people that want to invest. There's still people that see the best in this community. And really, we have this other thing that's working through the process, working through the court system. That is not my focus. I don't think it's our focus. Our focus is, okay, what does forward look like? But still being cautiously optimistic of how you build it.
Well, thank you both. I appreciate it very much.
Well, I will just add that we have a comparatively new board with SOPA.
Yep.
And what I find encouraging is that in spite of everything, they're excited about being on board and moving forward. And that's just good to hear, good news to hear. So,
And we still have 2 vacant seats there.
We do?
We haven't entertained who might fill that yet, so if there's anybody interested, once again, I think we've said in the past couple of weeks, by all means, send a resume letter of interest to the board, one or all 3 of us, and we can make sure everybody gets it to review. I personally like to call and talk to people when they're talking to interested in a board appointment to kind of see, hey, what draws you to this. So more to come. More to come.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other questions in the room? All right. Online.
Scioto County Daily News. The Sheriff's Office has been in violation of the Ohio Open Records Act. They have gone so far as to block the reports they have sent for years in their Sundance reporting system. What will you do to prevent the county from being in yet another lawsuit for dodging and actively blocking the requirements set forth by the Open Records Act?
Yeah, so that falls in the line of the prosecutor in terms of making sure that we stay out of litigation. I'm not well versed on the issue. I think I did see some of the reporting that you've done, Mark, on this. I think the prosecutor's probably looking at it. I've not had that conversation, but each individual office holder has the ability to make decisions for their offices. We don't have any say in terms of how the sheriff's office conducts business. The way our public records works, when we receive a public records request, we send it to the prosecutor's office, they review, and then they're the ones that do the responsive. They're the ones that are responsive for it. In terms of how the sheriff's office handles that, that's between the sheriff's office and the prosecutor's office and whoever's requesting. So outside of that, I really don't have a really stance on that one way or the other. It's between those office holders.
The second question is from Chris Race. I'm trying to find out what the commissioner's plans are for the Shumway Cemetery they currently own the majority of. This is located at the airport property.
Yeah, Chris, I appreciate that. That is something we're looking into. I know we've had that conversation. It ultimately probably needs to go in the hands of the trustees since they handle cemeteries. So just figuring out what that process looks like and working with the prosecutor's office on that because they represent us, but they also represent the townships. So there's something to figure out there.
I have one more.
Okay.
Scioto County Daily News. On October 13th, 2022, and then again on August 11th, 2023, this panel of commissioners made very sincere and thoughtful comments about the ambulance shortage in the county. Commissioner Powell said that Community Action was working with Shawnee State to offer classes 2 years ago. Did that ever take place? How many new EMTs, advanced EMTs, paramedics are answering calls and saving lives now? Since then, we've done over 150 articles of people in extreme distress that can't get an ambulance. Commissioner Davis said, we've discussed what qualifies as an emergency. It seems there's been plenty of time for discussion, so what can the commissioners do to help the townships cover the potentially life or death calls? Finally, what do you say to the townships that have passed tax levies for EMS? I'm sorry, it keeps flipping on me. And still not improved services. We've been told by several citizens that one township passed a levy and doesn't have a single ambulance.
Okay, so there's several questions in there. First, regarding training, I do believe that training happened. In terms of how many went through it, that's a question for Community Action and Shawnee, so I don't know the answer. I have seen, I think that was in 2002, I think they put. I see constant overtures from Portsmouth Ambulance, from some of the other providers offering EMT classes. It is a shortage. It is something terrible, something we've been doing, and I believe it's, I think it passed last year, was going to the legislators. At one point, you had to have 2 certain types of classifications to be in an ambulance, and that has since changed, which has kind of spread out the EMTs a little more. You had to have EMT driving, I believe was how it was worded then. So how do you make the best of the available workforce? So from the commissioner standpoint, one, encouraging people, if you want to be involved, get involved. Like, most of our counties are covered, or our townships are covered with volunteers. So it's not just an EMT issue, it is a firefighter issue. The townships that have the levies, I would say talk to your township trustees. If you're not happy with your services provided, they have meetings just like we have meetings. By all means, go to the township trustee meetings, find out what's going on, find out what's happening there locally in terms of their recruitment efforts. But outside of that, it's truly getting more people interested in being a first responder and making sure that our firehouses are welcoming to new people that want to be involved, and creating a culture where they're recruiting. 10, 15 years ago, this wasn't the case. People wanted to be involved in their local firehouses. We're seeing that slow down, unfortunately. Some stations are very strong, others are still struggling with recruitment. I think some of it's population, it's a population problem as well. But that's what I have on that, Mark. There's still offerings, there's still opportunities to get certification. There's multiple opportunities in the community to do that. I don't think it's an opportunity issue. I think it's a want-to issue and a recruitment issue. Any other questions?
That's all I have.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Any additional comments, Commissioner?
No, I'm good with the comments at this moment.
All right. I did want to share, I had the opportunity to go to Columbus in support of Representative Pizzuli's legislation, House Bill 58. That is legislation that would, one, have a certificate of need requirement for recovery housing, and 2, it would add a higher standard to ensure that people that are in recovery are getting appropriate quality care, quality housing. So I appreciate Rep. Pizzuli and his efforts on that matter. It was interesting to stand in front of the representatives across the state, and they were just shocked at the fact that we have, I think we're now at 110 recovery houses in Scioto County alone, and that number keeps growing. So it's a question of, okay, why can't people get treatment where they live? So the certificate of need would kind of spread that out throughout the state. Right now, people are driving 3, 4, 5 hours to get treatment, and we don't treat any other sector of healthcare that way. So my whole testimony, and it's online, is, okay, if we're saying recovery is treatment and is, or recovery is healthcare and is, let's start regulating it similarly to how we regulate healthcare. Let's make sure we have quality standards. Let's make sure we have standards of care. Let's make sure the licensure is strong. let's make sure there's a robust complaint process. If somebody's a bad performer, then we can go and truly check that out. Right now, that it's still in the infancy, in my opinion, of how recovery housing is being treated differently than healthcare. I come from healthcare, so that's why I kind of leaned into that part of the discussion. People deserve the best care they can get. They deserve to know I'm going to a place that's going to take care of me, that has good reputation, that has good outcomes. Right now, that's kind of invisible in the recovery world. So I appreciate Rep. Pizzulli on that effort. I know he's been working with the Adams boards. It's much needed legislation. The first piece of the legislation that he was able to get through last year was just to ensure that these locations are even registered so we know who they are. At that point, I think we thought we had 50-some recovery houses, and now that there's some registered, we now know it's 110 at least, and there's still some being registered even today. So I just want to say there is work on that front. It is a question we get a lot as we're out in the community about recovery housing. We're pro-recovery housing, but we're pro-good recovery housing. It's the bad actors that are kind of dragging the industry down, and this legislation would help fix a lot of that. But outside of that, that's all I have.
Well, could you
Go
go
ahead.
a step further?
Yeah.
There is a recovery house, as Mr. Dunn mentioned this morning, a recovery house that has cropped up right in the middle of West Portsmouth in a residential area. And the folks over there are quite concerned. And as you said, you know, we are pro. Our opinions are, just as you said, they are needed, and if they're run correctly. But what would you recommend, since you were with at that meeting, for the folks to do? They ask me all the time, you know, why can't we do something? And of course, that's state, you know, that's the state. But
Yeah, so there's a couple underlying issues when you start saying, I don't want a recovery house here, I want one there. City of Portsmouth went down this path 2 years ago. Really, recovery housing is protected by ADA, so you can't just zone it out of existence. What you can do, though, is as you're treating it as healthcare, certificate of need truly says you have X population, you should only have X amount of services. Clearly, the mayor of South Point was at that meeting. He's 300% more. There's a formula. He is 300% more than what their community needs, and yet that's you know, so clearly people are coming into the community, which we know recidivism rates and everything, and then what that potentially could cause in a community. So the certificate of need would end up spreading these out, so you wouldn't have this consolidation of services in one location, as we're seeing here in Scioto County and some of the surrounding counties. There's other counties that might have, I mean, we have the same equivalency as Franklin County. They have 1.3 million residents, and we're sitting at about 72,000. It's clearly unbalanced, but at the same time, if I live in Franklin County and I need recovery, or my loved one needs recovery, now I have to ship them away from their home, and away from their, like I have to send them somewhere, away from their support system. So that's what the certificate of need would do. Does it fix, you know, the perceived problems now in terms of the neighborhoods? No, it doesn't. But it's, once there's a complaint process in place, once there's annual inspections, I think some of those operators that are just buying stuff to quickly fill beds and collect a check, I think you'll see some of that start to go away.
What's the staff? I mean, I know, I'm not gonna give.
What's the staff? It depends on the level. There's 3 different levels of recovery housing. It really truly depends on which level you're talking about in terms of their requirements. That was a discussion that was brought up during testimony of, you know, what is the staffing requirement. That's probably more of a quality of care issue, not a licensure issue, in my opinion. You know, if I'm going to say you have quality care, then I'm going to want to see how many staff hours you have per patient or per person in that home. Some of the local ones have, you know, they have an RA, they have great staff, they have great oversight. Some have next to none. So once again, you have some bad actors that kind of drag down the opinion, and we see that in this community, right? There's a negative opinion about recovery housing. It's not because of the good ones. It's because of the bad ones, and then unfortunately, the good ones, everything gets lumped together. So, I'm hopeful for the legislation that Rep. Pizzulli is working on. There was, I went up, Sheriff Thurman went up, prosecutor team, and there was several of us that went up. Sue Schultz was up, so we all took the trip to Columbus to testify in favor of.
So would you recommend our community to send emails, letters to their legislators?
Yeah, so they can send letters of support for the legislation, reach out to Rep. Pizzulli's office. I think his email and everything is online, so by all means, send out letters of support. Make sure you read the legislation. Don't just say, hey, I support this. Make sure you understand
Exactly.
it. But if you do support it, by all means, send letters of support. They're working through some of the, it's not out of committee yet, so it's not yet on the floor, so they're still adding and subtracting, trying to make sure it's the best piece of legislation they can have for this matter.
Well, I know the Washington Township trustees plan to hold a meeting on April 7th, so just put
They're
that
working
up.
on zoning, is that
Mhm,
accurate?
mhm.
We don't have anything to do with zoning in the townships. We did look at zoning at one point, specific to this issue, and then when we realized the legal ramifications and, really as we educated ourselves on what we could or couldn't do, then it didn't make sense for the county to kind of zone the whole county specific to recovery housing. I don't know if that's specifically the angle that the township trustees are taking. I think there's some other things they're looking at, but yeah, get involved, by all means, go, we had several questions that impact townships more,
Mhm.
so by all means, go talk to your township trustees, they're elected officials as well, and they're accountable to you as well.
Thank you.
No, thank you. With that, we have nothing else on the agenda, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman,
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Hi. Agree with you. Go catch some fish, Todd.